a.m.
on Melody 107.7 FM.
Headlines that shape the nation. Stories from the north, south, east, and west. Brought to you fresh and fast.
With expert analysis, sharp opinions, and sound presenters breaking it all down clearly, smartly, and straight to the point.
Politics, business, security, health, society. Nothing escapes the spotlight.
This is your head start into Nigeria's biggest stories of the day. From the Dailies, news that talks to you. Only on Melody 107.7 FM, Lagos.
From the Dailies on your favorite radio station. Melody 107.7 FM. Stay tuned.
Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. Good day to you, wherever listening to us from. It's another refreshing edition of From the Dailies, your dial radio station, Melody 107.7 FM, where we take you through stories that made it to legitimate Nigerian newspapers that we could lay hold on. Yes, it says this Friday, July the 3rd. 2026. As I always say, tick says the clock, tick what you have to do quick. You've been handed over another half of the year. Whatever you please do well to make the best out of it. I am Matthew Oluwasegun Ijabike. Of course, you can call me MOI.
All right, a pleasant morning to you all. Israeli is my name, reporting for duty this morning. Let's get right to it and see what the news is saying. From my end, I'll be going through the Punch newspaper as well as the Nigerian Tribune newspaper.
And from this end of the divide, I have stories from The Nation as well as Vanguard newspapers.
Right, do not forget you can join us live on Facebook at Melody 1077, or you can call the studio line 0906 201 1077, 0906 201 1077, or you can dial 0704 800 1077. All right, let's begin with the Punch newspaper this morning. The story says, Atiku vows 2027 fight as court clears Mark-led ADC. That's the lead story for the Punch newspaper this morning. Above the master, despite xenophobia, South African investors pour nearly $1 billion into Nigeria. On page 6 of the Punch newspaper this morning, U.S. pulls troops from Nigeria after ISIS deputy killing. On another note, PDP faction in fresh clash over INEC nomination form. On page 2 and on page 19 of the Punch newspaper this morning, Dangote importers battle as petrol odds above 1,000 naira. All of these stories you'll find and more across the pages of the Punch newspaper this morning.
And now the Nation newspaper this morning, above the masthead, West Africa biggest lithium firm takes off in Nasarawa. You can find of this on page 2. Moving on, Dangote refinery crashes the petrol price by 15 naira. Courts oppose Mark-led ADC National Exco. This, both of them, you can find them on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. And now to the big bold one. Convicted ex-minister forfeits more multi-billion naira assets. It has its rider. Mama loses a Maitama mansion. Also, judge okays interim forfeiture of 4 others. Moving on, Ali is Oyo APC governorship candidate. Okay, with this right? Ademigbuji picked a running mate. All right. Include UN Charter Preamble in your constitution. Tinubu tells UN member states, and that's on page 4. Okay, 5,000 youths for meter installation training. All of this and more on the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning.
All right, away from that, moving our get to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Conflict funding shortfalls push northern Nigeria hunger crisis to worst level. That's on the Nigerian Tribune, page 31, according to United Nations Agency. And on page 3, court affirms David Mark-led ADC leadership. It's victory for constitutional democracy, rule of law, according to Atiku. Then the bold one for the Nigerian Tribune says, Knox Trail Ghost Presidential Council. Atiku Dalung CSO raised questions. Right away from that, on page 6, FS statics despite global crude oil price decline. And court rejects El Rufai's fresh bail bid over disputed medical reports. Security agencies foil another breach at NIPSS. On page 2, APC unveils Ali Ademigbuji as Oyo governorship deputy candidate in 2027. NADDC DG Finance Minister meets push for fiscal incentives for Nigeria's automotive EV growth. That's on page 2 also of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And let me take this finally before I take the health corner. Uncertainty looms as 4% green tax surcharge replace 10% duty. You find that on page 2. And on the health corner for the Nigerian Tribune newspaper says new blood test spots more dangerous prostate cancer than PSA. This is according to study. You'll find all of those stories and more across the pages of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning.
And now the Vanguard newspaper, priced out of birth, families battle soaring child delivery costs. That's on page 21 for details. It has its writer, expenses don't end at childbirth. One husband laments what I expected would be 180,000 naira exceeded 1 million naira. Experts warn rising charges are driving on Experts warn rising charges are driving on safe bets, maternal deaths. You can find this on page 21. Okay. Our federal government increases domestic borrowing by 241%. That's on page 19 for details. Still above the masthead, birthright citizenship. Pregnant women face ban from U.S. Also, court affirms Mark-led executives dismisses Ademigbuji's suit. That's on page 9 as well for details. All right, alleged forgery. Lawyer CSO seeks swift prosecution of ex-minister Nnaji. Fake counsel. Adeyemi fights back as police file 8-count charge against him. Adire not yet approved to replace NYC Kaki. Youth minister clarifies. That's on page 9 for details. South Africa repatriation flights fully funded by government. That's credited to federal government. All of these and more on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
All of those are lead stories. Those are stories from the cover page of various newspapers this morning. As much as we could lay hold on, it's time to go on a short break. And when we return, we'll dive straight into the details of this story. Do not forget, we are live on Facebook, and you can call into the studio line via the phone calls we have called earlier. If you have any of the stories that do resonate with you, we'll go on this quick break right now. We'll be right back shortly.
This na Melody 107.7 FM.
Hey you there, do you know that advertising helps to reach out to potential clients or customers, makes you visible to the globe, helps increase sales and creates massive awareness on what you do, thereby increasing your profits or giving ideal results? And Melody 107.7 FM is calling out to brands, companies, institutions, organizations, businessmen and women to complete adverts with us for visibility and recognition. Melody 107.7 FM is located at number 6 Melody House, Akintoye Street, Berati Bus Stop, Yano Okpaja, Lagos. Visit us on all social media platforms at Melody FM 1077 or email us at melody1077fm@gmail.com or call our marketing department on 08095111077 08095111077. Stay cool with Melody.
From the Dailies on your favorite radio station. Melody 107.7 FM. Stay tuned. From the Dailies on your favorite radio station. Melody 107.7 FM. Stay tuned.
All right, it's from the Dailies on Daily Radio Station, Melody 107.7 FM. All right, you can call to share your thoughts on any of the stories that may resonate with you on 0906 201 1077. Again, 0906 201 1077 or 0704 800 1077. Again, 0704 800 1077. All right, now to the details of the stories. I have with me on the Vanguard newspaper, President Tinubu playfully calls the First Lady Iyalakara following Accra controversy. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Thursday yesterday jokingly referred to the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, as Iyalakara during a public event in what appeared to be a light-hearted reference to the recent debate sparked by her comments on petty trading. The president made the remark while acknowledging dignitaries at the Presidential Press Corps dinner held at the State House, Abuja. A video of the event shared by Asa Rock TV showed Tinubu smiling as he greeted guests before introducing his wife with the nickname. All right, let me just ask Israel, what do you even think about this akara corn, roasted corn and kuli kuli saga?
Well, there are two sides to it from my hand. From one hand, people felt it was demeaning of the first lady now to say that to people, like it was the humanity to say that you are bringing us. Why are you not, if you think that that's the way out, why are you not leading the way? Then on the other hand, I think it's looking at it from the perspective of the presidential president's wife, that's the first lady. Why is it going? The first lady might be hoping to see that did I just say that? Was hoping to see that people will be able to come into that reality and say that not every business you have to start with a large capital. You can start from somewhere and eventually become something bigger. And when the calculation was even coming, I hope you know that most akara sellers are making more money than most salary earners. Because according to when there were some calculations I saw online, I was seeing how people calculated you sell one piece for 15 naira, sell at least if you said this and this.
This is not even an internet calculation. I and Anike Ade on Monday we sat together and we calculated.
People have been planning to start selling akara water.
Okay, we had an argument. Some of the incidents we were talking about, they were actually, following that opinion that it was too small. We calculated how you can start an akara business with 20,000 naira. So if you are taking 50,000 naira, that is even much more. Do you get it now? So I think even she only gave those examples. I'm sure there are other petty traits that you can
roast corn now.
We can roast. She mentioned corn. She mentioned kuli. There are other things we can even start with. Even to get a clipper now. For haircut, you don't need more than 25,000 or 30,000 naira to get that.
Actually,
do you get?
Well,
so I just wish people would just see the good side of it.
I hope so. As Iyalakara,
and it's not even a loan; it's a grant.
We hope so. All right, from the Punch newspaper this morning, Atiku vows 2027 fight has called Claire's Mark-led ADC. The Federal High Court, Abuja, on Thursday affirmed David Mark's leadership for the opposition African Democratic Congress, a ruling the party welcomed, even as a former Vice President Atiku Abubakar said he would continue his pursuit of the 2027 presidency. Article described the judgment, which dismissed a suit filed by a member of the House of Representatives, Leke Abejide, as victory for constitutional democracy and rejection of attempts to use the judiciary for political ends. Delivering judgment on Thursday, Justice Musa Liman upheld the preliminary objection raised by the ADC, its former national chairman Ralph Nwosu, Mark, and the party's national secretary Rahuf Aregbeshola. Back to the headline: Atiku vows 2027 fight as court clears Mark-led ADC. You find these in details on the Punch newspaper this morning.
Westland Vanguard newspaper: federal government increases domestic borrowing by 241% as part of the federal government's borrowing plan for the 2026 budget. The Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has issued treasury bills to raise 5.8 trillion naira in the third quarter of 2026. This represents a 241% year-on-year increase when compared to 1.76 trillion naira in the third quarter of 2025. CBN disclosed this in its Nigeria Treasury Bills issue program for the third quarter of 2026. Treasury bills are short-term debt instruments used by the Apex Bank to borrow money from the Nigerian public on behalf of the federal government. CBN also uses treasury bills to control money supply in the economy. Federal government increases domestic borrowing by 241%. Details of this on the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
All right, back to the Punch newspaper this morning. Police destroy criminal camp in Abia Forest. The Abia State Police Command says it has identified and destroyed the suspected criminal camp in the state, warning that there is no hiding place for criminals. In a statement issued on Thursday by the State Police Public Relation Officer, DSP Maureen Chinaka, on behalf of the Commissioner of Police, Danadi Isa, the command said that leveraging actionable intelligence, it identified and dismantled a suspected criminal camp located within Unobosi Forest in Umunoichi local government area of Abia State. I hope I got that right. Saying the statement added that the commissioner assured residents that there will be no hiding place for criminals within the state. I hope every other state can say this confidently, not just with words, but then taking the right actions for the security of the general citizens. But the headline says police destroy criminal camp in Abia Forest. You want to get the details of this, you refer to the Punch newspaper this morning.
Well, let me take this one lastly from the Vanguard newspaper. 50 days after Uri kidnap saga, hope of rescue beckons amidst fears of uncertainty. All right, 50 days have passed since the silencing horror began. Not the ordinary silence of rural dusk settling over farms and footpaths, but a deeper, more oppressive silence. The kind that followed gunfire into a community. It has not left since then. In SL Yawota and Auro Esinele, silence now has a texture. It sits on doorsteps, lingers in empty classrooms, and hangs over households where parents still wait for children who left for school and never returned. Okay, you can find details of this on the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
All right, let me take this from the sport corner lastly on the Punch before we proceed to other stories this morning. Messi, Ronaldo, other record holder at 2026 World Cup. The 2026 FIFA World Cup has produced a string of historic milestones, with many players and teams setting new records on and off the pitch, some which have even been recognized by Guinness World Record. The group stage and round of 32 saw known stars like Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo and Harry Kane solidifying their legacy with a record-shattering performance. According to reports released by FIFA after the group stage, the tournament had already become the biggest in World Cup history, drawing a record of 4.64 million fans across 72 matches and averaging 3 goals per game. Below are some of the major records set during the stage. For the details of that, you will refer to the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, I have now with me on the Nation newspaper, Kiyamo warns against cybercrime, drug abuse as AAAU matriculates 127 students. Minister of Aviation Festus Keyamo-san yesterday warned students of the African Aviation and Aerospace University, Abuja, against cybercrime, drug abuse, cultism, and examination malpractice. Keyamo gave the warning at the university's third matriculation ceremony, where 127 students, comprising 52 undergraduates and 75 postgraduates, were admitted. Represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Mahmoud Kambari, the minister directed the university to remain focused on its mandate as a specialized institution for aviation and aerospace education. He cautioned against expanding into programs unrelated to its core mandate, stressing that the institution was established to address the shortage of skilled aviation professionals in Nigeria and across Africa. Keyamo urged the university to introduce more specialized courses to meet the growing manpower needed for global aviation industry. Keyamo warns against the cybercrime, drug abuse as AAU matriculates 127 students. This is updates on the Nation newspaper this morning.
All right, shifting our gear to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Oni of Ife confers chieftaincy title on Baba Ijesha, gift him a new car. The Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, has conferred a chieftaincy title on Nollywood actor Onlineradiobox Omiyinka, popularly known as Baba Ijesha, and also presented him with a brand new car. Baba Ijesha disclosed the development in a Facebook post late Thursday, where he expressed appreciation to the monarch for the honor, warm reception and gift extended to him and his wife, Afolashade Omiyinka, popularly known as Lumini. He also revealed that he was bestowed with the chieftaincy title of Baba Awada Konge Odua. I hope I got that right. The latest development comes weeks after the actor and his celebrity stylist partner, Lumine, welcomed a baby boy named King Kaga Omiyinka. Baba Ijesha announced the birth of their son in an Instagram post where he thanked God for the child and described the newborn as a blessing to his family. Back to the headline now. Oni of Ife confers chieftaincy title on Baba Ijesha, gifting him a new car. You will refer to the Nigerian Tribune for the details this morning.
Israel, please, what's your take on the story you just read?
I should be asking you because there's
this is somebody who just served his term for molesting a minor, and then we are celebrating the person with a chieftaincy title. Are we encouraging more of this? Somebody who just came back from the prison,
who served his term.
He served his term. Okay, he just came back maybe in the last 7 months or so thereabouts, and then what he's getting now is a trophy, is an award, is a chieftaincy title, even with a car. What are we turning our society into? Are we encouraging rape? Are we encouraging what's it called now? Immorality. I mean, I'm looking for the word perversion. That's the word. I mean, what about society? I mean, we I mean, for people who we actually what's it called look up to in lofty heights. I mean, we don't expect this from them. The Oni of Ife is a custodian of Yoruba culture, and he should know better.
Exactly, because the decadence in the society is more than what we are even seeing, and youth are watching these things. That means if I have few connections, I can commit crimes and believe that
I come back and I get,
end of the day, I get rewarded for it and all of those things. We just have to be careful.
Is this nation that people are being released from the prison and you go and get Ashoebi just to welcome the person? Are we encouraging crime?
I really don't know why some of those things continue to. And you know, the fact that it's being put out there to social media shows that these people really do not care what you say. They just want you to know that whether you like it or not, this is how we are going to do it. And then it's not good for the society. Very, very bad. That story is in details on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper.
Well, let me not let me move on to the other stories. Okay, now so I have this on the Nation newspaper. Let me take one lastly. Military repels terror attack on NIPSS. Recovers stolen army rifle. Troops of the Nigerian army yesterday repelled an attack on the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPSS, Kuru, in Jos, South Local Government Area of Plateau State. killing one of the attackers and recovering a service rifle stolen from a soldier killed in April. The attempted attack occurred at about 12:10 a.m. when suspected terrorists breached the institute's perimeter under the cover of darkness and opened fire on the troops guarding the facility. The invasion came barely days after the institute dismissed a rumored attack on the facility by terrorists. Military repels a terror attack on NIPSS, recovers stolen army rifle. Details of this on the Nation newspaper this morning.
All right, finally from the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning, Osun Guba police arrest 3 over alleged assassination attempts on APC campaign DG. Just the first paragraph this morning. The Osun State Police Command on Thursday announced the arrest of 3 suspects in connection with an alleged assassination attempt on Honorable Oluwole Oke, the Director General, that's the DG of the All Progressive Congress, APC Gubernatorial Campaign Council. You'll find that story in details on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper with the headline, Police arrest 3 over alleged assassination attempts on APC campaign DG this morning.
All right, that has been the start of our package on today's edition of From the Dailies on your dial radio station, Melody 107.7 FM. All right, From the Dailies comes your way Mondays through Saturdays. So to keep it to date with From the Dailies tomorrow as well, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. is the time. Well, thanks everybody who made today's edition a success. From the production end, we have Toyolokwe Bello, and from our engineering section, we have Engineer Matthew Oforishe. Our producer has been Roland E. Moyera. And to my friends in the studio, I have Benjamin Mono, I have Oyi Konsola Babatunde, as well as Treasure Owadim Bola. Thanks for your support. And of course, to you, our listener, thank you very much for your support. Without you, they can't be From the Dailies. I am Matthew Oluwasegun Ijabike MOI saying, God save Nigeria.
Alright, until tomorrow when we come your way with a fresh package of stories, making it across legitimate newspapers with their details. Do not forget, keep it locked in with Melody FM. Of course, we are saying stay cool with Melody. Do not forget, the change your desire begins with you. The change I desire begins with me. So play your part, make Nigeria a better one. Israeli is my name saying bye for now.